Phoenix Down Radio is on the air. With your hosts,
Klauss Nightbringer,
Seyrr,
Chille,
and Luna Vox.
Welcome everybody to Phoenix Down Radio episode number 53. How's everybody doing today?
Doing pretty damn well.
And Chille, how are you? Chille.
He died.
Uh-oh.
Everyone died.
Yeah, Sarah's
Everyone's
not speaking either. Just you and me, Luna.
Well, good thing I have extra beer.
Not as many as you had last show, though, right?
Oh, no. I have 3. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, you started with 3 last show, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
God. Oh, God. Hopefully Chille and Seyrr get their stuff sorted out here shortly. Otherwise, this is going to be an interesting show, just the two of us, huh?
Sorry, I ran off to get some water.
Ah, Chille.
How dare you need water?
Right?
Hey, at least I'm drinking healthily-ish.
I'm drinking water too, but yeah.
Well, I say healthily-ish because it's sparkled water, so.
I have alcohol.
I have tap water.
I have tap water too. Go me.
I would never trust my city's tap water. So no. Sparkling mango and passion fruit water.
Your mango water is passionate
Yeah, it's nice.
and fruity.
It is amazing.
So how have you guys been the past 2 weeks?
Busy, I'd say.
How so?
Got barred to 70, so that was cool.
Congrats. It's a fun job, isn't it?
It is. I always love bard. I need to get more used to the songs and stuff, though, and remember to add them into my rotation, but...
Yeah, that's a difficult thing. Also, it looks like people are trying to find us. We are still in Lavender Beds Ward 2, but we are down by where the swimming is going to be.
We're actually in Sub-Ward 2.
Well, it's still Ward 2 subdivision, yes.
Yes.
We're just down the hill from the Free Company house. In fact, you can kind of see it in the background there. So yeah, we're there. But I think you guys can jump in, but we are in G pose because the lighting is better. So.
I don't think they can though.
Oh, it makes it look prettier at least. So plus the birdies are all flying and.
My birdie is amazing.
Well, Moogle Quest, maybe you'll have to listen longer in the show then so you can learn all about them and not be banned by the elementals anymore. So what else have you been up to, Luna, besides Bard to 70?
What else have I got done? I got in-game married again, so that's neat.
I didn't get invited.
See, I had no idea about that. I wasn't invited either.
Hold on.
I had to hear about this from somebody else.
Okay, I'm good.
They're like, "Hey,
Talk. Go ahead."
So I hear Luna's getting married," and I'm like, "What?"
See, Moogle didn't get invited.
Yeah. Apparently, the only person that I know that got invited was Kane.
And it wasn't even Kane. It was Kane's wife that was there, and we scarred her.
I am very disappointed.
I am sad. Look how cute I'd be. I'd be amazing.
I'm sorry. But yeah,
so that was a thing.
But other than that,
we just had to give you a hard time about it, Luna. Also, happy International Podcasting Day, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy International Podcasting Day.
Well, Chille, you're a podcast confirmed? Chille is a podcast among podcasters? I don't know where I was going with that.
If you listen to for radio this week, they joked about so I can't remember what it was about now, but they're like, "Oh, so there's real people." You're like, "What? I'm real. I'm not a bot designed just for podcasts. I'm a real boy.
I'm a real boy.
I'm a real boy."
So yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying that. Make sure that you give your favorite podcast some love today. That would be awesome. And if you really love the show, like I said, it is still September. Half price subs with Twitch. until October 2nd. So you got a couple of days yet. I'm just throwing that out there. Just an idea. That's all. You don't have to do it, but we'd love you for it. Anyway, moving on. Chille, what have you been up to the past 2 weeks besides every podcast known to man?
Was it in the last week? Beat Savage 3. I think it was the last time we beat Savage
you
3.
did.
Okay, so we've just been practicing that. We beat it once and we've had trouble. We've got close. We got to Enrage, but I don't know. But not everyone's been on. It's been weird, but we've been doing more practice of Savage 3. Yes, we've cleared it once, but we want to clear it on a better
Gotta get it on
rate
farm, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we've been practicing that before we try Savage 4. So
makes sense. I mean, you want to make sure to get plenty geared up because Savage 4 is pretty savage.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm 329 now. So
nice.
I bought my gloves because I had 6 from 2.
And I hear a Seyrr now, so that's good. Welcome back.
Yeah, that was very strange. I was like, have we gone live? It's like 6:34. Why is everyone quiet? Hi, everyone. I'm here. I exist. I got caught up in arguing intellectual property law with someone or another.
So, other than arguing intellectual property law, what have you been up to since the last show?
I've been leveling, since I have Bard and Warrior at 70 now, I've been leveling Machinist and Paladin and Dark Knight so that I can get rid of all the fending and aiming gear.
Okay.
I mean, that's the thing. You end up with all of this gear and you're like, I should save it so I can use it when I level this job. And then it's like, okay, I better level this job because otherwise I'm going to have no inventory whatsoever.
Just like me.
Yeah, because we're not getting more inventory in the next patch.
Yeah, I mean, like they said they were going to do it a little bit at a time, see how the server load responded before they tried to expand it more.
Oh, apparently the way they initially did it with Stormblood is causing some issues because they said they're going to totally change it.
Really?
But that was I do remember reading something about that, but we'll talk about that when we get more into the live letter notes.
Yeah, that's why they do this testing. Yeah. Other than that, I had a really awesome experience. Those of you who do frequent the FF14 subreddit, you may have seen pictures that are posted by someone who does portrait photography on Hyperion, which is a server that we're on. I kept an eye out for her party finder, and I was able to actually get some portraits done. It was a really fun experience. And yeah, I have amazing pictures now.
Very cool. Yeah, I looked at some of those pictures. They were actually very nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people think that it's like, oh, you're going in, you're requesting the portrait style that you want, and it's not quite that. So, hang on, I had her name written down here, and I'll be throwing that up on the Twitter as well, both the pictures that she did for me as well as her Twitter and Instagram.
Yep, we'll make sure to retweet that for you.
Yeah, but it's more of a, she's interested in like glamour photography, things like that, and so it's more you come in and you're being a model, not a customer. So she'll give you commands to like pose this way, try standing this way, and then she goes in, does stuff with the group pose function, takes pictures, and you end up with amazing portraits. Misuzu Takane. So yeah, you may see her work on Reddit. Also, she does have her own Twitter and Instagram, and just doing that was really fun. And on different outfits, just standing there being like, oh man, how's it going to come out? Now, it was actually kind of exciting.
Does she by chance have multiple characters on different servers?
I don't know. I know that the space she was using is an apartment that she refitted into a photo studio that actually included quite a lot in terms of furnishings.
Reason I ask is I saw Denmo actually tweeting some pictures of a similar fashion, but that was on a different server totally. It wasn't Hyperion, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if maybe she has multiple accounts that she uses to get more people.
So, I mean, that's one possibility, though it doesn't look like she's trying to get as many people as possible. It's more, this is something she does when she feels like doing it.
Yeah.
It's more something for fun and for practice rather than as like a paid kind of thing.
Maybe she's a graphic artist and trying to just work on a medium that she enjoys.
I could believe it. And I could also believe that other people seeing this, especially after that first Reddit thread exploded, other people were like, hey, that's a fun idea. I want to try that.
This was actually the same day. At the same time. Huh. So it was weird.
Then
anyway,
I don't know then.
Maybe it was just coincidental. Maybe the two know each other. Maybe they're influenced by each other. But
Maybe.
anyway.
Or maybe that's just a coincidence.
Yeah. But yeah.
It was funny.
Go ahead.
Seyrr, a friend of mine actually got pictures done by her too. And I'm like, oh, did you get that done by so-and-so? And they're like, you can tell that from the thing. I'm like, yeah, it's the same style and whatnot. And a friend of mine just got them done by her too. And they're like, oh, yeah. I'm just like, oh.
It's like, don't feel sad about it. It's amazing.
I know.
Yeah, they looked really good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like putting some of those on like a business card or something.
You can create your own Tumblr page for your character.
Let's not go that far.
Just like me. I mean, what?
Yeah, and as far as in-game, I've just been keeping up with trying to cap tomes and all that so I can keep buying all the gear needed. Last weekend was fun. My sister came down and she helped do some final measurements for a cosplay that I'm going to be working on. And we went looking for fabric for that. And then today I started working again on the weapon prop that I'll be using. I posted that out on Twitter. So if you guys follow me on Twitter at @phxdn_Klauss, you'll see I'll be posting updates on that. I'll tell you guys about it since, you're the podcast and you guys are awesome. We were working on my Red Mage cosplay. And the weapon I'm working on is actually the Murglace. So, like I said, just got the rough forms out of it. Did some bevels on the edges, and now I need to work on some hand sanding. But this is the first weapon prop that I've ever made, so it's going to be kind of interesting to catalog it as I go through and what the process is and how it proceeds. So I'm hoping you guys enjoy it.
I've liked seeing it on the stream. It was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I'll, like I said, I'll try and keep updating that as I move along. Cause like I said, I don't do much handiwork like that, but it'll be kind of fun. Other than that, yeah, just kind of, I did watch the live letter a little bit. I listened to it on the drive to work. Yes, Luna, I did.
What did you listen to exactly?
Two guys talking Japanese.
Oh, okay.
And then I watched the rest of it at work.
I don't understand Japanese all that much, and
Hi.
See, I want to say Larry Seyrr had the best stream because I watched his and he was reacting to the video, so he kind of knew what was going on, kind of. And he had the live stream going on his live stream also. So
Hi.
Hey.
Well, I got really fortunate, and I have a friend that actually speaks Japanese and was live translating it for me over Discord, along with some other people in another Discord that I'm in. So it was nice getting that first and kind of information from someone that I can actually understand what they're saying.
Cool.
Hi.
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 So let's jump right into it. Producer live letter was yesterday morning, way freaking early in the morning. And what was really nice about it is they had the official translations up same day. Very nice that they're doing that now.
Yeah.
So thanks, Matt, for putting that together. Yeah, Chille.
Can I say it was annoying that I sat around watching the hard thing, thinking, "Oh, I'll go have some go out and get some lunch," while they're still talking, and then I realised I got back and I missed the entire Alliance raid thing, and I had the sad.
Oh.
It went for 3 hours though.
I know I was there for 2 hours, but the first 2 hours were like HUDs and housing. I'm like, yay. Anyway, we'll talk more.
Well, basically, Chille, that was the live letter. Good night.
Yay, HUDs.
Maybe not quite that bad, but I don't know. I'm hoping my mic is working. I'm noticing something weird on the stream, but otherwise, maybe I'm just hitting it too hard. Let me know if it sounds weird to you guys out on the stream.
I always sound weird.
All right. Anyway, so started with we got the trailer, which I don't know. What did you guys think of the trailer?
It had more Lalafell.
More Lalafell.
It had Lalafell and it had a 2-armed Raubon.
Yeah.
It had
Wait,
the
what?
Final Fantasy.
Did it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
It was a
actually,
flashback.
Oh,
Yeah, that was actually a scene that originally appeared in a 1.0 cutscene, I believe, when you experience the echo around Raubon and see a little bit of how he came to glory.
Yep, it looked like he had just won a tournament on the in the sands, so
The Blood Sands.
Blood Sands, yes.
Or the Colosseum.
People are
Very
thinking it's his
interesting.
tournament of becoming free.
Probably. I mean, because, well, they did talk a bit about that in the little stories that we got about Stormblood. Because they talked about Pippin, and then they talked about how
Yay!
Raubon won Pippin's freedom. So,
Such a cute story.
Mm-hmm.
so,
Been his best.
so yeah, there was that, and then they went into squadrons.
Yeah.
Not quite as many dungeons available for that initially as I thought there would be, but I'm guessing they need to like prepare the AI logic for each one individually.
Yeah. So when do we get to do Aurum Vale? Everybody wants to do that dungeon, right?
I'm
Right?
calling it there'll be a few more dungeons when the patch releases than what we saw.
You think we'll have more than 5?
Because they said there was a level increase with the squadrons.
Yeah.
And as the cap is already 50, that would mean they go to 60. And the dungeons they showed was to 50, and the squad members were 50.
Well, actually, yeah. I suppose Wanderer's Palace is a
But I
level
mean-
50 dungeon.
Wouldn't they just sink the squadron down?
No, but if they've only got to 50 and they haven't unlocked them above 50 yet.
I'm not sure why that means there necessarily would be dungeons available that are above level 50.
I'm just saying
It's
that
going to take time to level them up, though, too.
Yeah, I'm going to say that if they got to, maybe that's why there isn't any 60 dungeons shown, because they didn't have any 60 characters.
Oh, I see.
They probably haven't figured out how they're going to handle it yet, because the mechanics are a lot more difficult. And when you go from 50 to 60, that jump in damage and amount of HP
I mean, they can
and
just make
stats, the stat weights
Yeah.
change quite a
can't-
bit.
But they're
I
already
imagine-
overpowered.
Yeah, I imagine they wouldn't necessarily have that much difficulty with saying, like, okay, just scale this up to be a level, whatever. That stuff's already internal. Honestly, I think it seems like they wanted to provide a reasonable spread of levels. And it may be stuff that has, like, easier mechanics to prepare a program.
Yeah, it might be the case, which is probably why we won't see Aurum Vale or Zamel Darkhold.
At least not anytime soon.
Yeah, because
Though we did get
ahead.
Toto Rock in there, and that was one of the 1.0 dungeons, so...
Yeah, but that at least it's not. What's the other one that everyone was worried that we'd get?
Cutter's
Copper
Cry?
Bell?
No, not. I'm sure he didn't get Sestasha, but I'm trying to think of the one with the Coral and Ninetails as mini bosses, and
That's
Grey Fox?
Toto Rock.
oh yeah, is
That's
that
Toto
Totorock? Okay,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
one was I thinking then?
Ah.
The second dungeon. I thought that was the second dungeon for some reason. Anyway,
Well,
that's
yeah.
neither here nor
Are you
there.
Copper Bell?
No, not Copperbell's the third dungeon.
Copperbell's the
You know what?
Tantara?
Yes, the
Tamtara.
Deep Croft. Thank you.
Oh.
I thought I might as well just open the Duty Finder.
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking of Tamtara, and I get those two confused quite a bit. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, they have similar naming schemes. Both are underground in the Shroud.
Yeah,
Totorock is a bitch.
yeah.
Hate
Yeah.
that dungeon. Hate it.
So I am surprised that they did put that one in then with the I suppose your character's gonna have to grab all of the crystal thingies to open up the walls and doors.
Well, who knows? If you watched the actual trailer, actually watch the fight, they actually started doing positionals. So maybe they're smart enough to actually pick up stuff.
Well, let's see how smart the AI is.
I
Yeah.
really want to know what happens when you pull a bad and you just start pulling everything. Like
The healer
running ahead
will-
of your group.
Oh
Start
boy,
healing then.
I kind of hope they'll just let you die.
that would be
That's what love you
amazing.
too, Kane.
So if
Your squadron respect falls by 1 level.
they go get good.
Oh,
you know-
that at least the healer was DPSing.
You know what we forgot to say right away when we started talking about this? When this is all dropping.
Yeah.
10-10.
Yay!
I called it. I totally called it. I've already got the day off.
Um.
So yeah,
Okay,
those are the 5 dungeons. New emotes.
Oh, those emotes! Like
Oh, I can't wait
Like-
for those emotes.
Yoshi P's immediate request was, please don't use the pushed up emote for dirty RP. You know that's going to happen within 10 seconds.
I figured the squat one would be even worse.
They're all both really
you'd
good
be
when my.
surprised.
They're all really good when my Lalafels play dead.
But yeah, you know how your squadron members are doing push-ups or sit-ups or squats or other stuff like that? You'll be able to learn how to do that too.
Yay. I think.
So much dirty RP.
So yeah, there's going to be a lot of dirty RP, and yeah, you can go up to level 60 now with your squadron. So, and glamours are coming too. Don't forget those. They did
Yes,
show a
you'll
little
get
bit about
glamours for your squadron members.
Yes.
Let's be clear there.
Yep, they did show a little bit of the interface and how that's going to work. So it didn't look too terrible, but it looks like you actually have to take the item and put it on them. So it's going to be similar to PvP where stats mean nothing.
Is it weird? I'm kind of disappointed in Squadron Glamours.
Why?
Really? Why?
I love the idea, but some people were aiming for like unique, like the Snowman Glamour and all that lot. They were, trying to get them in their squad by, RNG.
Yeah,
Now they can just equip it.
I guess I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
But then you just won't glamour those guys.
I'm just saying, but the fact that, the people that did work hard for the unique glamours that they wanted, now they can just do it anyway.
Like the reindeer guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can
No, I
see
just
what you
want
mean by
more.
that.
I just want Lalafels now because I haven't had a single one yet.
Next up,
That's all I want.
Squadron Fantasias.
Oh,
Yes, please. I will spend. That's
I mean,
the first Fantasia
why-
I buy.
Why don't you just fire them and get a replacement for them?
I'll try.
But then he has to do things and stuff.
There's a list of the various squadron members and what activities they get recruited with. Have you
that
checked
sounds
that
like
already?
work, though. Do we
I don't-
really want to do
I don't want to work. I just want it given to me. Come on.
That's definitely how this works.
Yes. Anyway,
Yep.
moving on.
Yeah.
They talked about only specific jobs are getting class change or getting changes to their job.
You forgot to include something back in the squadrons.
What did I forget? Oh, that you buy them in Grand Company seals?
Yes. So start saving up your Grand Company seals.
Yep, cap them off.
Well, I already get so many from running Expert Roulette. I mean,
Right.
I can only buy so many ventures. I think I'm at about 700 right now.
Oh my god, I know.
Send
what
one
you
of your
mean.
retainers on a venture to find a venture storage chest. That's a thing, right?
Well, actually, that's coming too. So
Right. They
Which
are
is
having
nice.
the storage for those currencies. That'll be nice.
anyway, so continuing on, the only job changes coming up are for Warrior, Dragoon, Ninja, Machinist, Summoner, and Scholar. Everybody else got changes in the 4.05 patch, so and
No
patches
monk
around
changes.
there.
Chili Rage. Chili Rage.
You had monk changes before.
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
We got
you did.
nerfs.
That's
No.
a change.
That's a change.
It's not necessarily a
Technically.
good change, but it's a change.
And that was when they actually came out.
So anyways, those changes. Warrior.
We don't necessarily want to go through all of it, do we?
No. Anything that's especially significant. Summoner's Dreadworm Trance has been changed around a bit. They're having Ruin 4 as an off global cooldown now, so you'll be able to interweave it with other attacks and cast it on the run, it looks like.
And Warrior now has Divine Veil, really.
Yeah,
Yep, that's
the shake it off change
Plus,
Yep.
Take it
devotion
up.
is now an AOE.
for Summoner.
Mm-hmm.
And yet Monk
Scholar.
still has Tackle Master. God damn. I hate you, Square.
For Scholars, Adlo is cheaper. Some recast times are shorter.
Mm-hmm.
So some good. I mean, they're needed changes, and they're gonna keep
Yep.
making these changes throughout the game. So I mean, if you're really interested, you can always check out the official forum. I will.
Machinist turrets and their hyperchargers getting stronger too, it looks like. That'll be fun.
Let me go ahead and link that for everybody.
I was just doing that. No.
I beat you. Oh,
Me
dang
first.
it!
So then after that, they moved on to Shinryu X.
That looks like a hella fun fight.
That's gonna be it.
That's
I
gonna.
just did normal mode again today after a month of not doing it.
No, I'm good.
We're all
It
gonna
looks
die.
like they're skipping that little intro sequence, including the active time event. Or is that what it's called? Like, it's a quick time event, except quick time hasn't been a thing for ages.
I'm good. I'll give it a miss.
Or maybe Apple just doesn't want him using that.
Whichever.
Either way. So yeah, we've confirmed that Yoshi is a hacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Luna said he got hit by 200 and some thousand K damage and he didn't die.
Yeah, it was like 205k damage and nope.
That crit.
As a Lalafell Black Mage.
Yep.
And he didn't die.
Lalas are the best confirmed.
No,
Are you
Yoshi's
sure that
a
he's
hacker.
a Lalafell, or does he just take on the appearance of a Lalafell?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. But
Very
yeah,
true.
there's gonna be a lot of DPS and heal checks in it, so get ready.
And the difficulty is going to be somewhere between Omega 2 and 3 Savage.
Which, to be fair, isn't too. If it's that hard, then it's not too bad because O2S isn't that. I find O2S easier than OS1.
So it's going to be harder than that, but a little bit easier than Animal Farm.
Oh god, the Anafarms.
That's board game night.
Yeah, something like that.
And you'll get weapons from that, so if you have been working on Omega 3 or 4 Savage rating and you're having trouble with it, you'll be able to get some weapons to get a little bit of a boost there.
Yeah,
We got you enraged this week with 2% left.
Also, thank you,
God.
Nick Nar, for your 4-month subscription. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. You're amazing.
The mount from it looked awesome though.
It's a
Yeah.
giant booger.
Kind of a green snotty doggo.
No.
Techno Dog.
It had a green glow. It was a black metallic wolf with golden highlight. Thank you.
It is a Techno Dog.
Green,
guys say
green
it's a
snotty
vulgar
doggo.
one.
Confirmed.
What is wrong with you?
I'm mad because I don't get to
Booger
perform until 4.15.
Yeah, I want that perform as well. It's amazing.
Yeah, because he started out the stream with that. I wonder what was going on at first. I was like,
Can I play Darude's Sandstorm if I don't have perform?
yeah. So they've confirmed that it's been delayed till 4.15. With everything else that's good in this game.
This just gives you more time to learn how to play Freebird.
You know what I want to say? I wish you could save your performance so that way you could use it with your actual abilities.
Oh.
So make your own songs as you're singing your songs.
Yeah.
Make it
So I feel
truly
like
the
that might get
song
annoying
of your
very
people.
fast. Um,
Do 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 do. Anyway,
anyways.
the biggest reason they said that they weren't going to be bringing it out is it was still laggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like there's some major things with latency in it, so there would be concerns that the song you hear is not the sound that other people hear.
And it sounds like you get a full octave, with which includes the major notes and the sharps and flats.
That sounds so amazing, guys.
You
And then-
cannot
unless I did-
macro it. You
Yep.
cannot
No
macro it.
macroing allowed.
Because macros are only every second, so you'd have basically quarter notes every second.
I mean, if you want to play like Hot Cross Buns or something. Everyone else, start practicing those old piano lessons.
So I'm gonna have to make a macro to switch over a set of hot bars so I can have all of my notes on another set of hot bars, and then just start hitting keys and go, yeah.
1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross
Cross
buns.
So the
I
harp,
mean,
we
if
get the
this is
harp,
the-
and then the flute is coming in a later patch.
Yep.
I hope we get a
Then
keyboard
they'll-
eventually.
I want a
Yeah,
guitar.
and then they'll eventually add in more instruments after that.
The saxophone.
And Chille gets the tambourine.
Yeah.
Trumpet might be nice.
You know what? I'm
My-
gonna be a little sad if this is gonna be the first instrument that I learn how to actually play. Which it probably will be, which is a sad thing.
We're gonna have to get some 4-part bard harmonies going and record that, and it could
Oh
actually.
my god.
We're gonna be Eorzea's next biggest pop idols.
Yes. Well, Chille already has the dance, so
Yay.
So do I need to start working on the creative differences that I'm going to leave you guys over? Is that
Well,
how
yeah.
this works?
So who's
Who's gonna
John?
be our
Who's
Yoko?
Paul? Chille's definitely Ringo.
Wait,
Too
who am I?
nice. You would be George.
George.
Watch out for that tree.
I'll be Paul, and Seyrr, you can be John. You're gonna get stolen by a short Asian woman, Hingashi woman, I mean, and
I'm surprisingly okay with this. That sounds kind of interesting.
I mean, you already have the glasses, don't you? The round red glasses.
Do I? I don't know that I have that one. I've got these
pince-
glasses.
I have them somewhere.
Pince nez?
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, moving on.
And I've got a couple pairs of glasses.
So we've got job gauge changes coming up, and HUD changes. So you guys can
And
go
I sure can't wait to see simplified Paladin.
1, 2 instead of 3. 1, 2, 1, 2.
2.
Well, Paladin
One.
is just a line with a number, so what would it just be a line? I guess.
You just hit the button.
Yeah, it's just a yellow. It's just a green box that lights up. You're ready now. Ding.
Push button. Yay, Paladin.
But yeah, as far as the new job gauges go, they're gonna let you separate buffs from debuffs now. They're gonna let you set priority on like food, FC buffs, etc., stuff like that. If you want them to be in front or not.
Yeah.
Well, these
really
are more
useful
HUD
for if you've
changes,
got a lot
not
of
job
buffs to
gauge
manage.
changes.
Mhm.
If you've got a lot of buffs to manage, or if there's like one or two really critical ones that you need to pay attention to.
I really like that because there's only 2 buffs I really care about as monk, so it'd be nice to have them separate so I can keep an eye on them exactly.
Well, isn't that what your actual job gauge is for, though?
It doesn't show Dragon Kick or Twin Snakes.
Oh, interesting.
And it sounded like there was a new option for really high definition displays.
Yep, they've added a 200% UI for text for the 4K displays. And higher, because technically that's a thing too.
Yeah, 8Ks.
I saw Linus Tech Tips go up to 16K.
Who are you
yeah.
crazy people with monitors this large?
No, it was
What is
it was
your
a
life like?
it was a
I want to
4x4
understand
array
you.
of 4K displays.
Yeah.
I still want to understand this person.
Right?
You
Nobody can understand Linus. He can't even understand
no,
Linus.
you're exactly right.
Oh.
He's hilarious
Well,
though. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
he's
That's fair.
amazing.
All right, then the important stuff, the housing relocation service.
Yeah.
Basically, you click it, you click purchase, you ask if you want to relocate. So I'm assuming if you have your own house and a free company house that you can move, you will be asked which one you want to move there.
You can even move free company houses, I think.
No, I
No,
believe you can move
personal
personal
too.
houses too.
I always thought it was
Yeah.
just free company.
Nope, it's all of them.
No, housing used to be
good.
only for free companies, but then they added personal. So, but they're not discriminating against that anymore. Which, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about necessarily segregating them so free companies get the benefit over the people who, have
Well,
enough
that's
to
how
buy
it was
their own
originally
house.
announced.
Let's not go into if we start on our feelings on the housing system, we will be here for a while. Maybe we
Yeah.
should not touch this topic right this moment.
You're not wrong. Let's talk about this once we figure out whether or not we get to move into our new house.
Yeah, because if we get to move into a new place, then clearly everything's fine.
Yep, and if we
Well, we'll
don't,
probably
then
know
there's
in May.
problems and rage.
Oh
But
my
they did
goodness.
show off the new housing areas redesigned so that everywhere has options for swimming.
Yep.
And that very cute dog minion. I want it.
Yeah, the Shiba Inu one.
Yes, I want it now.
Yeah, he's a cute.
That
But
and
yeah,
those sand mounds in that you can lay in.
Yeah.
Look like you're buried in the sand.
I
can
love
be
the way.
Chandler.
I love the way Lalafell's looking that. Like, it's just like this huge giant mount and then tiny little potato head.
Yep.
You're literally growing potatoes.
So in the lavender beds where we currently are right now, we'll spin it around and you'll see this whole area is going to be swimmable. Basically, the entire riverfront is going to be swimmable.
There's also going to be little chairs and stuff that you can go into and doze on, and there's going to be little platforms that you can jump off on, and yeah, basically the map's going to change for every single housing ward.
Yep. The Goblet gets a giant bathhouse style pool.
Hot
And
tub,
it's the
spa.
Roman baths kind
Roman,
of thing. There's
yeah.
lots of styles of bathhouse.
Yep. Mist just gets to swim in their beach,
Yep.
and
Yay.
Shirogane gets their area out front swimmable.
Yeah.
Their
Shir-
beach.
They explicitly said that Shirogane was designed with swimming in mind. So.
Yeah. Yep. And plus, they also showed off a new jumping puzzle there.
Yes.
I still haven't climbed to the top of the Shiokaze.
Neither
I've
have
done
I.
it twice now.
I'm still stuck on that one jump on the. I don't remember what you would call it, but
I'm hoping the waifu does it one day so I can just teleport there. I mean,
Hey, Luna, want to get married?
for a
No.
fifth time,
No.
and then get
Damn,
then
You are
divorce.
not going to abuse the teleportation.
Hey, I think marriage is a sacred act between a Lord obsessed Mikote,
You abuse.
Okay, so
between a Mikote and a Vista Point.
I'm losing
No.
control, folks.
You never
I'm
had
not-
control.
I'm not abusing it. I'm just a ladder fella. I need help climbing the stairs. Too big. It's too big.
So
Don't listen to his lies. He has springs in there.
his name's Andor.
Yes.
We
No,
already
no,
did. Like,
no.
Andor's lies is a tip for later in the podcast.
Okay, so Rival Wings is something they showed off again. It's something we're not getting till 4.15 either.
Final smites.
Oh, you forgot to mention the in-house storage that's coming.
Well,
along with-
they talked about that earlier though too.
Well, fine.
That'll actually be useful for. I know, for instance, when I was getting those pictures done, there was a lot of furniture being stored, and people who like to change up their house for the seasons or like to mess around with the design from time to time, they'll have a place where they can put a lot of those rare and difficult to find things instead of having to get rid of
Yep.
them.
And everybody
Oh,
gets
yeah.
400 slots to start with, and then they'll announce when they move it back to the normal size. So basically, it's going to double the size of stuff you can have in your house.
By the way, guys, Aurori said that they want to say something in the chat.
Okay, we'll just
So,
all right. But while we wait for them to type it out. It's not a wedding. It's eternal bondage.
I don't want to stay on top of the Shiokaze forever.
I'll just leave you up there. I'll duct tape you.
That'll
That's
work.
worrisome.
That'll work. All right.
But no,
So getting yeah.
Talking about the storage thing again, I have 3 retainers completely full of housing items right now.
Well, then you
So
can get rid
this
of
is-
them.
Huh?
They'll become they won't have any jobs anymore.
Exactly.
You'll find other stuff to put on them.
Yeah,
Maybe.
you'll
Probably
start
glamour.
Yeah.
storing a whole bunch of crafting materials.
I already do that on 2.
How many do you have?
I have. How many do I have? Like 6, I think.
Damn.
Yeah.
I only have 4.
So anyways, let's go back to Rival Wings.
All right. Yeah, the thing that we're not getting on 1010.
Yep. So with Lords of Verminion, they were testing using the FF14 engine to make a real-time strategy game. This time they're doing a MOBA. Still probably less toxic than League of Legends.
You think so?
It's not
Nah.
difficult to be less toxic than League of Legends.
I gotta say, you'd have to be really toxic to be more toxic than League of Legends.
That's
True.
true.
But somewhat similar, the MOBA style in terms of having towers, a central core to defend, that sort of thing. But large-scale PvP that involves up to 48 combatants instead of 3 teams, like a lot of our other PvP has been. This one, it'll be 2 teams, the Falcons versus the Ravens. No particular restrictions on the composition. The parties will be formed up into light parties instead of full parties. And as part of the setting, since this is going on in the Charlene hinterlands in the Shadow of Idleshire, with all of this crazy goblin machinery going on, very giant machines can be ridden once certain conditions are fulfilled, which they talked a little bit about some of them, but including a cruise chaser, an anti-personnel and anti-machina device, the oppressor, that's the one that was the boss of Alexander IV.
No, A1.
Yeah.
Was the oppressor in A1?
Oppressor was
Oppressor-
A1.
Really? I thought it was at the end.
Nope. Oppressor
What
was
am I
A1.
What was A4 then?
A4 was the thing with 4 legs.
That's the oppressor, isn't it?
Nope.
That's the oppressor.
No, oppressor is the big thing with the giant hulking body. And then halfway through it, or at a certain point, the alarm would go off and a second one would come down.
Oh, that
Yeah,
one.
that's
Okay.
the oppressor.
Yeah, manipulator. Thanks, Vivi. Manipulator was A4.
That's the one. Thank you. I've run A4. I've run A1 enough times for animo weapons, except at some point I stopped just paying attention to everything and just pushed the buttons. So.
Yep,
It
and that's
just
why
dies
you
so fast.
forgot what it looked like.
Yep. Anyways, the oppressor is going to be an anti-tower one, so very good for attacking those towers, for attacking the structures, but a lot slower moving and potentially more vulnerable to attacks from the people.
It's a tank.
And
It's a giant hulking tank.
And then once a team has lost a couple towers, they could get access to brute justice. The ultimate. I really hope the music comes in for that.
Right.
And that'll be, it was described as the ultimate machina that was affected against combatants and objects. A little something for a come from behind kind of thing, I guess.
But
They're
Machina's
also-
evil, you know.
This isn't 10. We're not on Spira. They also are going to have mammoths, which you do not directly control. They're autonomous clockwork soldiers that'll target towers and cores, so they're kind of the equivalent of the minions from your traditional MOBA.
It's all GG. That's all it is. It's all
But-
just going to be GG.
All GGs.
All
Re?
GGs.
GG.
Re?
Anyway.
What?
The answer is no re.
No.
GG, no re?
Get out of here.
Okay.
I'm calling jungle.
So
I
anyways,
want to be carry.
oh boy. So yeah, we'll have to wait a little bit to see that till November. Like a lot of other things, stuff took a little more development time. We'll see how it turns out. Like a lot of other things, they're experimenting with something new, which is a hallmark of the Final Fantasy series, and I appreciate that they keep trying new things with it. They don't always work out. We'll avoid the usual Lords of Forbidden rant. Yeah. You don't need to cough it when I'm freaking saying it explicitly.
And then as soon
Cough
as
for
we
minion
learn
cough.
that Machina is fine, then we'll start getting our Blitzball.
Yay. Once Yevon has praised us.
Yes, and then
So
we can
let's
all
see.
praise Yevon.
But yeah. Let's see. Next up, they talked, I believe, about...
The unending coil of Bahamut. Now this
Ultimate
one,
savage.
yes, super mega ultra happy savage.
Extreme.
Super mega fuck you, savage.
So this is coming 2 weeks
You're dead
after 4.1 drops, and this requires that you complete O4S and be eye level 340. So you have to be all the way done, and it's going to be crazy. So there's a 2-hour timer on this particular battle, and apparently Sustain makes a comeback in this one. That's what they said, right, Luna? Or
What
did
is
you type it in
sustain
wrong?
again? I can't remember.
Heal your pet.
Yeah, Sustain was a summoner ability that would apply a
Oh,
regen
yeah.
effect to your pet.
So I don't know
Yeah.
if that's supposed to be in there, if that's supposed to be up in the summoner stuff.
Huh.
Yes, they're probably up in the summer stuff.
I did notice
Maybe.
a few things
Okay.
were in the wrong areas, but I didn't fix this one. Sorry.
But yeah, sustain is this because they removed it. and
Oh,
then they
that's
made-
big. Okay. Unrelated to an unending coil of Bahamut, summoners are getting Sustain back. Huzzah. Maybe I'll go try to solo palace.
Did you verify that in the official?
I don't know. The official didn't have very much about job changes, actually.
Okay.
Well, by the way, if you go and try and do solo Palace of Dead, I do recommend buying sustain potions because they really help you a lot.
Yeah, they heal
Oh.
you over time.
Yeah.
So yeah, in this one, it's not all weekly lockout. You can run it as many times as you want and get as many drops as you want, provided you beat it.
And it's like one run, one drop.
Correct.
Like they explicitly said, like, if you can beat it, you know what? We're not going to punish you on this. If you can beat it, you deserve a thing. Which I appreciate that.
Yep.
And they look like shiny versions of the weapons. Which means we should get a red mage.
The shiny versions
samurai.
of the final coil weapons.
Yeah, which means we should get a red mage and samurai final coil weapon.
Ooh.
They might not bother with going back and making the non-shiny versions, though.
So if they've got to make the shiny version, they have to design it first, I guess.
Textures.
Anyway, then they showed us a bit on the 24-man raid.
Return to Evilise.
They didn't talk much about it though, which is the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really want to keep the spoilers under wraps on this one.
I do like the fact that the start of it is just a homage to Fantasy 9 as well.
A little bit, yeah.
The Prima Vista there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the plot is kind of the same as well.
And it's a ship that does plays.
Yeah.
A Garlean ship. It turns out they have actual culture. Who'd have thought it?
Oh my god!
You're gonna get so much crap for that, Seyrr.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. I kind of asked for it. I mean,
That's
it's not
what I said,
like
it's
all
more-
they've showed us is this like savage warlike thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I said it like a homage than an actual tribute. Yeah, just some nods towards it.
I'm just saying, maybe if the Garleans stopped bringing the war machines and started bringing the bread and circuses, the people of Eorzea would welcome them with open arms.
Some more Hildebrand, less war.
Something like that, sure.
Speaking of Hildebrand,
Yeah.
They really, it's only a prologue chapter, but we skipped some
Yeah.
things.
Oh, we can get to them.
Yeah.
But yes, Hildebrand, they did tease a little bit about. We saw some in the trailer as well. I think that image of the Namazu with the special dango has already gone viral.
oh, it has.
That
It
was
has.
pretty funny, actually.
It was kind of great.
Yeah. And
But yeah, just a little bit of a taste. But I suppose it's like, do we make people wait for relic weapons or what is it going to be called? Okay, relic weapons. Do we make people wait for relic weapons, or do we make people wait for Hildebrand?
apparently they
And they
think we
knew
want.
which one we get.
I want relic weapon.
You'd think that, but then you don't get Hildebrand.
But to
Oh,
be fair,
no.
we're pretty much waiting for Hildebrand anyway, because it's probably just going to be one quest and over. Because it's just a
Probably.
preview.
Yeah. Basically a cock tease is what you're trying to say?
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much.
So yeah,
And then
they have some
materia
interesting-
will be able to be detached and not just removed and destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a chance to be destroyed.
Yes, it's not. It's similar to materia attachment, where the higher the level of the materia, the more difficult it's going to be to pull out.
The main impression I get from this is because
Quiet, Luna.
for the most part,
Quiet, Luna.
so anyways, for the most part, like a materia gets destroyed when people are attempting to overmeld something. That's not going to change by this. Like the stuff that's actually in an item. Say you have something, you meld it 5 times, and it took say 50 materia to do that. 45 of those materia were already destroyed. The other 5 are kind of a drop in the bucket. Letting you get them back is not the end of the world. So for endgame stuff, I don't see it making much of a difference. What I see this making a difference in is all of that gear I get when I'm leveling up that has materia slots that I never bothered to put anything in because, hey, I'm going to level out of it in a few levels. Why should I even bother? Well, now I'll bother.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely will have people using materia a lot more often, because that was my biggest thing. Is I didn't put materia into the stuff as I was leveling up through Stormblood because I knew I was going to burn through it in a day.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on, you're not going to do it anyway still because of how cheap material is anyway now.
Well, I mean, if I've got it and I've got the item and it's not, and I can get it out afterwards, I might as well. Like, I think it's going to encourage people to think about materia as something to use beyond just as the when I've got my final end game item. Hell, I'm even on like my gathering jobs, where if I don't have the final highest end piece, I don't want to bother melding it up.
Yep.
And now, if I can do it, maybe I won't worry about capping it out perfectly, but I'll go ahead and fill up the slots, maybe put in 1 or 2 extra, and I'll get the benefit out of it in the interim period to when I actually get that amazing piece. So it'll help smooth out that road a bit.
Yeah.
Yep, fill up them slops.
Them slops.
Fill up them slots.
So yeah, I think this is just more like a kind of quality of life thing to encourage people to make more use of materia instead of just for their final items.
That, and it'll be nice for the fact that when you're trying to desynth something now, they're going to show you what level you want to be at to actually do it more efficiently.
Yeah, that's another one that's going to help smooth out a lot of that stuff. I know I still have carpentry desynth fairly low, and I've been looking for something that would actually be reasonable to do.
Yep.
And just being able to have all the items displayed easily is going to help for that.
Definitely a nice quality of life adjustment. Because, I mean, a lot of people don't really use the whole the desynth as much as they should be.
More money for me.
I
Yeah, I
know.
love
I
desynth.
really put off leveling my desynth because of that.
Yeah. I mean, I did just cap Goldsmith this week as well, so all the way up to 320.
Capped
Nice.
cooking about a week ago.
Now I need to start working
So
on
many
my
fish.
culinarian and my leatherworking.
Desynth all those fish and get all that sand.
Right? But hey, stuff's great for people who are building stuff for houses.
I just thought you can say sandcastles.
A lot of
and
mortar.
That was a thing.
But in general, while there is a lot of available resources available and a lot of good tools available online, it does seem like they also want to make stuff a little more approachable for players who are intimidated at the idea of like, okay, I want to desynth. Wait, I have to learn how much before I can start doing it?
Right?
Really, people look into how I just go, oh, desynth button, yay, stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
some people
no,
worry
stuff.
about that a little more.
I just go, oh, I can break this. I wonder what I get.
Well, you just like breaking things anyway, Chille. And then at the end, they talked about all the things that we're going to be getting in 4.2, which is way the fuck away.
Next year.
Yeah. So more storage, 4.2. PvP Crossworld, 4.2. The team registration, 4.2. Crossworld Link Shell, 4.2. Eureka, 4.2.
They did mention that we're going to see different content for the relic weapon this time around.
But still, we were promised Eureka, and we're not getting
Yeah.
Eureka.
Stuff happens.
We gave up a dungeon for a Hildebrand prologue quest.
And smite and final smites of Leagues of Legends.
Don't make me find that one Twitter thread I had to show to a bunch of people.
And then they showed off all the things, and they turned into QVC at the end.
Of course.
Oh, and they also had that really interesting G-Pose update that they're looking at.
Oh, yeah, but again, 4.2.
Oh, yeah,
By the
but
way,
Yeah.
the cross link shell, I hope we get more link shell space because I won't have room for them anyway.
4.2.
so that G-Pose update includes a battle content replay feature. So, for instance, during a primal fight, it could do a recording of that and then allow you to go through it, go at different angles. So if in the middle of a fight you realize, oh man, we had this amazing moment, you're going to be able to save that moment.
Hopefully. We'll have to see what they actually come up with on it.
That's the idea anyways. It sounds complicated, so it doesn't surprise me that it might take a bit longer.
Yeah. 4.2.
Oh,
We didn't mention anything about the Lost Canals.
oh yeah, remember you've got a new version of that coming out, kind of.
Yep. Let me just read off what the official forums have.
Yeah, because you
Players
didn't
will
write
be able
anything
to
there.
discover new maps leading to deeper submerged chambers in the canals. Players will need to go underwater to explore, and the portal is guaranteed to open. There are 3 doors. They will feature various monsters with mechanics as well. When opening a chest, there is a chance to double up with a maximum of 5 steps. Enemies are quite strong, so we recommend challenging it with an 8-player. with 8 players.
Full party.
Full party.
Okay.
So yeah, some loot.
So that's the maps within your maps.
Also, they've increased the level cap. I can't remember if you said that.
So it's
Wait,
not
level
capped at
cap on
310?
which?
I don't know. They just said they increased it, so they didn't say how much.
Okay, because I believe it's right now 310.
No, it's 300, isn't it?
No, I thought it was 310. Anyway, it was 3 something. They're probably raising it up because they're with everybody getting, in 320 and 330. If they're increasing the difficulty of the monsters, they've got to make sure that we can handle it. So, all right. So that was the gist of the live letter. And like I said, we will be linking the official forums post with the official translation in the show notes once we get the podcast up as well. So, while we have been anxiously waiting to hear about new content, we have all been kind of suffering through a content drought. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of other podcasts over the past couple weeks, and that seems to be the biggest thing people are talking about is they're having difficulty keeping engaged within the game. And that got me thinking, initially I was thinking, yeah, you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe they need to expect more from the dev team and get more content to keep us involved with the game. But then I started thinking, is it really up to the devs to keep us engaged 100% of the time in this game? Thoughts?
I subscribe to the school of I'm a goddamn adult who needs to be responsible for my own entertainment, and I can enjoy this, and if I'm not enjoying it and need a break, that's legit. Hashtag Seyrr shade. Is that how hashtags work? I'm old and don't understand these things.
It is.
Sure. Also, this is the time there, if you guys are watching us live and you want to put your 2 cents in out there, you can click on the Discord link below the stream, and that'll jump you into the Phoenix Down Radio Discord channel. Let us know within the chat there what you would like to talk about, and we can bring you into the show.
Yes, come, join us, talk with us. Save me from having to talk with these guys again.
Oh, quiet you.
Yeah, I'm apparently in a mood. I don't know what's going on here.
Wow, GMB is playing Fantasy 11 again because of the content cycle.
Sassy Seyrr is sassy.
Oh.
All right, so basically, and this isn't something that's just limited to Final Fantasy XIV. I mean, every MMO experiences this type of content drought. Basically, you get to the point where your static is basically farming the current raid tier because you just got it down pat. Or you've beaten out the dungeon so many times, you've got all the glamour loot, and you got all the minions and all the mounts, and you got all your crafters up. So what do?
And at a certain point, it is inevitable because people progress through at different speeds. When you finish up all the stuff, there are probably still some people who are still working through the MSQ or just working through the first tiers of Omega.
True. So we actually did reach out to you guys on Twitter, and we asked, how are you beating the Final Fantasy XIV in-game drought? And these are some of the responses that we got on Twitter. I'm probably going to totally slaughter this name, so I do apologize in advance. At Chzalus, TCHZAELOUS. I've taken to burning Zidane-shaped effigies after hearing about the Prima Vista.
I suppose not everyone gets hyped about things as much as we do.
I'm so going to glamour my Lalafell into a Zidane outfit just for it.
So we can have roasted papotos.
I mean, this is one of the problems with having a game that's a little bit of as I said, like a theme park referencing all the previous ones. Not everyone likes every Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, and those people are wrong. Anyway.
Not even starting there. We're going to get enough hate mail as is.
At Marcus Kyler said, I just stream whatever I'm doing in-game with my free company or catch up on my game backlog. Never did finish 12 or on PS2, working on it on the PS4. So that's pretty cool that he kept using it to catch up on some older games. Nick Nar, catching up on older games and playing Destiny 2.
Woo, Destiny 2!
the PS4 remake of 12 is totally superior to the original. And yeah, there's always a backlog. That's another one of the downsides of when you have a game where you can keep logging in and there's more stuff to do with friends or more content being provided. It's easy to lose track of a lot of other games. I just found out that Danganronpa came out this week and I hadn't even noticed.
You're a bad and you should feel bad.
I do. I feel bad constantly. I've seen a therapist about it.
About missing out on Danganronpa on release
Exactly.
day? Dear Lord.
Exactly. They said that this is not what insurance is for.
And they're not covering it, and you should go just buy the damn game.
I mean, we'll talk about that in my next session, but I think that's a reasonable line of inquiry.
I thought they told you not to come back. Anyway.
That's not what they really said.
Well, they wanted to come back because of that monies.
There we go. I'm an exploitable resource.
Aren't there laws against exploiting adults?
Oddly, no. So, Remix Sakura talked about planning a Halloween social event with my Greg FC, planning RP events on various servers, leveling 12 jobs across 4 characters, good god, grinding Mastercrafter book at 5s, finally doing Beast Tribes, doing every goddamn side quest I never did. Drought? What drought?
That's definitely one way to handle it. Just go back and replay the content and keep doing it over and over again. If you enjoy that, by all means.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff to do. I know when I've had those, okay, want to tag as many beast tribes and want to make sure I get all my roulettes and want to work on this. Like, if you're trying to tag every single bit of that you can, you certainly can find plenty of stuff to do. I think a lot of people just feel like, I don't quite see what the point of doing this one is.
Yeah. At Flatus said, guesting on other shows and talking about pizza. Usually the bad pizza, but... At Shinter, being distracted by real life events and traveling to foreign countries. That bastard.
Oh, look at me. I have a life outside the game. I'm special. You are special, you beautiful, beautiful man.
Yeah, he gets to go to Japan and do fun things and eat tasty foods and do life things.
Taking a break from things for a little bit is totally legit.
No, absolutely.
I think a lot of people have the idea that, like, if you stop playing, then, like, you're leaving the game and like you don't care anymore. It's like, no, it's all right to just take a little break from it. It's weird to think about taking a break from something that's supposed to be an entertainment activity, but if it's gotten to the point where it feels like an obligation, a little time away oftentimes just helps you shake off a lot of those feelings and enjoy it a bit more and get a healthier relationship with it.
Yeah.
So please, if you are taking a break, do remember that if you do have a house, to occasionally log on just to make sure you don't lose it if you're going away for a long time.
Yeah, because they did turn it off for now, but it'll be coming back.
Alternately, tell me where your house is. For reasons.
That's not creepy at all.
Not at all.
I'm just going to steal it. I'm not going to stalk them.
Are you going to put it in the middle of the street?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway. At Kane FFXIV said, by making and loving an alt, I love 14 and I won't leave until my friends do. And that's another opinion people have too. I mean, like I said, this is a very good game. I mean, yeah, it had its kind of rocky start back in 2010.
We're well past that at this point.
But, it made a glorious comeback, and it's gotten, as they say, 10 million accounts created in that time frame. And it's got a number of podcasts about it. A lot of game streamers, a lot of artists, a lot of YouTubers. I mean, there's a lot of content that is being created because of this game. So there's a lot of love for Final Fantasy out there.
Yeah, and a lot of the social aspects have, like, I've known people who, even when they didn't necessarily feel like playing a lot, they would log in and be like doing all this stuff in their room, maybe working on art projects or things like that, but they would have it as a kind of a glorified chat room. And if someone said, hey, does someone want to run this dungeon for a relic weapon or whatever, it's like, you know what, I want to hang out with you, I'm going to do that, even if I not necessarily focused on the game progression and on character development and all that, but just on the I want to spend time with people I like. Totally legit way to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I do. I log in every single day and I chat with my FC and friends on here. This is my social outlet, so
and that's
it
where
is totally fun. It is totally fine for it to be a chat room where you have a really, really awesome dress-up doll.
And now that's where
Yeah.
I got to the opinion of thinking, it's necessarily not just the dev's responsibility to make the game engaging. This is an MMO and, massively multiplayer online game. We have a lot of different people to talk to, a lot of different types of people out there. And I think really half the game is going through the dungeons, getting the pretty stuff, opening the treasure chest and getting your loot. Yeah. The other half of the game is the social interaction behind it, and then using the tools that they give us within the game to make our own fun.
At a certain point, all they can really do is provide the framework for people to come in and make something of it. Like, they cannot actually create. I would not trust it if they were like, okay, we're going to create something like what A Stage Reborn did and create this in-game play company, all that. But the players creating the framework where the players can mess around with the furnishings, where they have free reign to do this creative stuff and make something awesome out of it. It's kind of like they're providing the canvas for us to put the paint down on.
Mm-hmm. So A Stage Reborn, they're definitely a huge, reason or example of what I'm talking about. Another example is going to be all of the people who role play. They take the in-game models and all the glamour with it, and they play out their own stories. They use the dungeons and they play it out the way they want their story to happen, and they make their own fun out of it.
By the way, GMB has said so in the chat. GMB Seto, hope I said your name right. I don't know that the drought describes my dissatisfaction. I can't say words tonight. For me, it's about no variety in activities for 4 years. It's really unfortunate they tried and failed twice with Diadem.
I guess I can understand where you're coming from on that, though. I mean, they are attempting new things. I mean, at least they gave it a shot with Diadem. I liked it initially.
But it can be disappointing when they try something and it doesn't work out.
Yeah, but I mean, they've also tried and had successes with things like that. Look at the maps, with the Aquapolis and the Lost Canals. Look at Deep Dungeon. Those things are, I would say, for the most part, relatively successful. And people are running those for, a lot of different reasons. They're running it for, glamour. They're running it for loot. They're running it for leveling. And the fact that, using Deep Dungeon as an example, it's kind of a procedurally generated dungeon in a way, so it's not the same experience every time.
Also, Moogle Quest. I used to roleplay a lot, but the creepy, pervy Lalafels lurk in all the good link shells, and I take that as offense. I'm not in every link shell.
Just most of them.
But he's hiding in them, so if you just don't look for him, you'll be fine. Yeah. Just let yourself believe that you're in one of the link shells he didn't make it into.
But I mean, we're going to take it another step further here. It's not only just taking it and using the game itself, but look at people like Denmo and Larizar that use the game as a framework to create, transformative works. They create things like introducing Lalafell and other videos that they put out like that, for entertainment. I mean, that's a lot of work behind that, but using Final Fantasy XIV as their base canvas to work off of. So I mean, it's taking this game that we all enjoy and building upon it, and using their skills to do it. So I mean, like I said, and then putting it out there for all of us to enjoy, and it really rebuilds the passion for a lot of people too, seeing that, oh wow, look at how cool that looks, maybe I should go try this game again, type of thing. I mean, that's the reason why we podcast about it, right?
And quite frankly, if you're someone who tries that and says like, hey, I'm just not feeling it, you don't have to be 100% devoted logging in every day to something to be someone who plays and enjoys it. Go ahead and take a break until the next one comes out. That's legit too. If you decide, know what, this isn't for me, don't force yourself to do it and burn yourself out and end up leaving entirely if you're still going to enjoy it, just in smaller bursts.
Yep.
You don't have to enjoy something at the extreme level to enjoy it. You don't have to be a fanatic to be a fan.
Nor does everybody have to enjoy this game. I'm just going to say that. We really do enjoy it. I am a Final Fantasy fanatic. I really am. I enjoy everything about the series, the lore behind all the different games. And like I said, I don't, jump into content all the time in 14, but I'm on it every day because I want to make sure to talk with my friends that I've met throughout the game. I want to, enjoy some time away from, the day-to-day life of adulting. And it's a good way to unwind after a long, busy day at work. And it gives me something else to work on. And like I said, then we take that, we build upon it, and we create these podcasts for you guys. And we talk about the things that we enjoy about it, and hopefully get some good interaction with all of you too. So,
which reminds you can join our Discord if you want to.
Yep, we still have some spots available if you want to come share the things that you want to talk about on this subject.
Don't be shy. We like hearing from you.
Speaking of shy, is Luna still around, or?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, you're just kind of sitting back there? What are your thoughts, Luna?
Well, as everyone knows, I'm a role player in Final Fantasy. And, well, what I do every single day is I log in, I do some role playing, I check my retainers, reset that, whatnot, and I basically hang out all day. I mean, last time, I haven't capped anything in a month and a half.
I stopped caring about Verity tomestones a while ago.
But we get so many of them.
That's why I no longer care.
I'm capped on Verity. I don't even give a crap about creation. Like, I get my eye level up on my collar if I really wanted to, but I don't care.
Like, you know what?
Redo it again next patch.
It's like, yeah, I'm ready enough so that when next patch comes in, I will be fine for the content and I can do stuff. I don't need to over-prepare.
Exactly.
Wow.
I don't need to be I-30, 330, and...
Hearing Seyrr say that he doesn't want to over-prepare, that's really odd.
Huh?
Hearing Seyrr not wanting to over-prepare for things, that's very odd.
Not over-prepare in this aspect. Let's not talk about my cooking ingredient situation.
Seyrr has priorities.
And the priorities is an insane amount of cottonseed oil.
And making things delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget the avocado.
I want noodles with hot... Yeah, anyways.
There is totally avocado in this game. Did you not know that?
Yeah.
Is there? Oh, yeah.
Avocado toast.
Alligator pear. That's another name and another reference to thing, but that's avocado.
Now I want avocado toast.
Really?
We knew we'd do this, wouldn't we?
No.
This is why, this is why the economy is crashing.
Because you want to make avocado toast.
Yeah.
And not because of, any of the actual reasons.
No, Klauss, no. No.
That said, the only thing you can make with it is a salad with slices of avocado in it, so...
You know what's
they should
better?
add more uses.
Beans on toast.
No, I'll take avocado on toast.
On toast. I mean, I can't eat them because they're part of the peanut family, but baked beans on toast.
Oh my
So
God.
how would you know that they're any good?
Because I've eaten them before. How do you think I
He
know?
has
I
to
couldn't
learn
eat
that he's
them.
allergic somehow.
Yeah, my sister...
But then you
loved
died,
raspberry.
and...
Not every allergy causes anaphylactic shock and death.
Well,
Some of them just give you
baked
nasty
beans-
rashes.
Yeah, but, normal nuts do, but baked beans are far enough away from actual nuts that they just give rashes. And so, I mean, they don't have as much oil.
I'm still allergic. Not as allergic. I still get a reaction, but not as bad as a reaction.
Today
My
on
mom
Phoenix
used to
Down
find it
Radio,
weird.
we talk about how about Chille's gross allergies.
Yay!
Episode.
Yeah, that's another thing you can do. Have ultra personal conversations with your free company and Link Shell members.
I
about
do that
their
every single
medical-
day. I mean,
Yeah, same. I thought that's the whole point of Link Shell. I've got a Link Shell dedicated to it. I mean,
Chille has an RP link shell confirmed?
yeah, that did.
An ERP link shell?
dun dun dun.
Nah.
I
I think this is more like medical RP, MRP. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
That's a thing
There's
now.
people that run like hospitals out of their FC rooms and whatnot.
Neat.
From
By the
eating
way,
baked
we
beans
do-
on toast?
My RP, like Luna's a healer, so she knows about like etherical tendencies and properties and whatnot. So that's in my RP.
By the way, we do have someone in the lobby chat. I don't know if they want to come down.
I already Collided wanted to add the Discord. I asked them if they wanted to chat, so
Got it.
Sadness.
I'm watching.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I said, even if you don't want to chat, you can go ahead and click on the Discord link, and that way you'll have our Discord server available to you next time you do want to talk to us. So
Yeah. Voice chat not necessary. We have text chat about all sorts of things. We've got our library where I and a bunch of other people go off on random tears about whatever topic people come up with. Yeah, we like having people around. It
exactly
makes our day a little less boring.
It's another thing that we get to use to add into our experience in playing this game. And it makes it more of a real experience for everybody, not just pixels on a screen.
Yeah.
Plus, his lore is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The lore is always fun. So, I mean, if you do enjoy reading about and learning more about the world that we play in Eorzea and Hydaelyn, I do recommend going into the library within our in our chat channels and reading into what Ethis and Seyrr and Anonymous and a few others discuss.
And definitely it's going to be a good source for lore about, specifically about Eorzea and FF14, but it tears off into a whole bunch of other topics. Let's see, in the last bit, we have a discussion of the things in fishing leaves, which went into a whole bunch of stuff about different ways to cook fish.
Fish.
It's often used as a jumping off point, but we will just go wherever the topic takes us.
But we all know fish is better served thinly sliced on top of sushi rice.
Oh my god. No, stop talking about food.
Like, one of the level 1 fishing leaves has a pretty decent recipe for a shrimp po' boy sandwich. Also, pork belly with sea cucumbers, a neat method for preparing beans to make them more digestible so you don't get as much gas from them.
I want pork belly steam buns now, Luna.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
They are amazing.
Pork belly.
Go to Masu again. Oh, that was so good.
I mean, honestly, even if you don't have questions specifically about the world of FF14, if you just want to hang out in there and watch the conversation drift from one random topic to another, I think we got into literary criticism a little while back. That was fun.
Kaleida, this is what we do. We make people hungry, and we hopefully entertain them.
Yep.
All right. I think we'll go ahead and put a cap on this particular topic. But let's not stop talking about it in general. Let's keep the discussion open on different things, because the more that we bring out there, the more that Square Enix is going to notice the things that we talk about, and the more changes that we can maybe see to the game if they actually need to be made. So,
having an idea of what we're actually looking for, like, you don't just want to go to them and say, "Hey, make things more awesome." Having an idea of what you actually enjoy, of what's actually missing for you, that's going to help you make a better request. That's going to actually give them something to work off of.
Yeah, and
please notice us, senpais.
Yeah, they'll notice us. I'm sure that they've got people watching all those suspicious characters out there making these podcasts. We're on a list,
I'm probably on multiple.
Because you're on multiple podcasts.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. How about that lore?
I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion, but like I said, let's keep it going within social media. You can tweet at us at PHXDN Radio, and we can definitely keep the discussion going on Twitter. If you have a question that pops up later, you can always email us, podcast@phoenixdownradio.com. But yeah, we were talking a little bit about lore, and Seyrr, our resident librarian, has come up with another wonderful topic to discuss with us this week. Seyrr, take it away.
So actually, I have to credit Luna for this one, who found an interesting thread talking about the residents of the Black Shroud and about how the elementals interact with them, and came to me with some questions about what's going on here. And thinking about it, I especially remember they were talked about in 1.0 as well. Their characterization changed a lot. So the elementals of the Black Shroud. So I think if you want to understand Gridania, if you want to understand the entire region, you really need to understand the elementals. So we're going to do a little bit of an overview and a little bit of looking at how they've changed throughout history and throughout the characterization of the game. So, for those of you who don't already know, the elementals are sentient ethereal spirits. They can, in the area of the Black Shroud, they can sense events that are going on in there, and they can communicate their desires to hearers, gifted individuals, mostly Pagils, who lead Gridania in living in harmony with nature. So, as beings composed purely from the land's ether, they're pretty much just like these embodiments of the will of nature itself. Like, they are a force of nature incarnate. And if I teach you nothing else tonight, I want you to learn, know, and fully understand one thing. The elementals are not nice. Their minds are alien to ours. Their values are alien to ours. They are harsh and unforgiving. They are nature incarnate. It's not a purposeful cruelty that delights in suffering, but it's an uncaring cruelty that doesn't notice your suffering.
Elementals, nature's dicks.
But I mean, they're not trying to be dicks. They just don't even notice you unless you've done something to hurt them, and then they really notice you. Think of it like a human and a mosquito. For the most part, the person has no strong feelings about the mosquito, does not think of it as good, does not think of it as evil, barely even considers it. Unless the mosquito starts annoying them, and then it's, I want you to not exist anymore.
And
yeah. So, we talked about this a little bit. So, starting with the 5th Astral and Umbral era, which we discussed previously in our 5th Astral era lore special, there was a lot of rampant overuse of magic and this catastrophic imbalance in the land's ethereal ether. And the elementals themselves describe this as a time of great suffering, leading to the rise of the elemental of nihility, same root word as nihilism, like nothingness, Oha Sok, whose keening, or wailing, washed away the sinful in a flood of bitter tears. This is how the elementals saw the great imbalance that led to the massive flood that ended the civilizations of the 5th Astral era. If you ever get a chance to check out the videos for the 1.0 White Mage quests, this talks about it in a bit more detail. The suffering of the elementals, their rage, and their great wailing that led to this catastrophic flood. So, after all of that business, the elementals, not really eager to have the spoken races living in the Shroud again. They seen the trouble that they caused once. They don't really want them back. So then, after that flood, the woods slowly regrow, the land slowly recovers, the elementals reclaim Omnipore, its cities and fortresses get slowly buried under forest growth, and this goes on peacefully for a couple centuries. Around the late 600s, and this is in the 6th Astral era now, Elezen flee into the Shroud after being pushed out by Huron migration. So you've got Huron civilizations, they're doing a lot of expanding all over the place. They eventually push out those Elezen, and the Elezen move into the Shroud. They're not really aware of the elementals and the power that they have. And this is kind of a very chaotic period in their history, where the very forest is seeming to constantly rise up against them. Eventually, they flee into the caves beneath the Shroud and start trying to eke out a life there. Fast forward around another 50 years or so to the early 700s, when the Seyrr are continuing to grow and expand the borders of their civilizations, and they also enter the Shroud. They also get harassed by the elementals, get attacked, and they also flee down into those caves underneath the Shroud and start warring with the Elezen for control of the caves. This goes on for a couple decades until they come to the realization that, hey, while we're doing this, the elementals are destroying both of us. And they make peace and with a common goal of trying to make a living in these caves without the elementals noticing us. And that's the establishment of the city of Gelmora, which again we did cover in depth in an earlier lore segment, which I encourage you to seek out if you want to know more about the city of Gelmora. Fast forward around 300 years or so to the early 1000s. The elementals drive the Ixal beastmen out of the Shroud. we don't actually know why this happened. The elementals certainly have not deigned to talk about it. The best working guess is that the Ixal's population grew too much, and in order for them to expand, they started clearing land without the okay of the elementals. Now, the Gelmorans see this as an opportunity, and they start begin trying to make contact with the elementals. They have their mages, the magic developing in this very crude fashion after the mistakes of the War of the Magi. And eventually, they are able to make contact with the elementals. By being able to talk to them, they're able to negotiate, and eventually the elementals agree that they will allow the spoken races, the Elezen and the Hearer, to live above ground in the forest. The Gelmorans establish the city of Gridania, and the elementals bestow a blessing on the leader of the Huron mages who establish contact, and his family gives birth to the very first Padgel. So the Padgel we've seen around in the Black Shroud in Gridania, they are rarely born to Huron families that have been touched by the elementals, and this blessing gives them horns, this very recognizable physical sign. They also age extremely slowly. Con Isena, who is described as looking like she's in her early to mid-teens, is actually supposed to be about 30. And they are also able to hear the voices of the elementals very clearly. Because of these things, they usually end up becoming the leaders of Gridania. So, prior to the Calamity, which occurred in the mid-1600s, we have the elementals as we saw them portrayed in 1.0. Those elementals were extremely harsh and unforgiving, and Gridania was much more xenophobic than it is now. Back then, there were a lot of NPCs who made it very clear that your character is not and will never be forest-born. And many of them encourage you to finish up whatever it is you're doing in Gridania and move along. There's a couple terms that show up a lot during this time. You have the concept of wood sin. This is a taint that you accrue by doing pretty much anything that ticks off the spirits of the forest. Chop down a tree, you got some wood sin. Kill some animals, wood sin. Step on a twig, knock a bit of dirt out of place.
That's a wood sin.
Pretty much. So the hearers could speak to the elementals. They would oftentimes get permission to, for instance, hey, there's way too many deer in this part of the forest, so you are given leave to hunt some of them, which will reduce the overpopulation, and I guess as a side effect, give you something to eat. Or carefully trim back overgrown plants or things like that. They could actually get permission from the elementals for that. Bumbling newbies were more likely than not to do something that was going to upset the elementals. If you've ever seen the Wood Whalers and seen the masks that they wear, those masks are actually for protection against wood sin. They have regular purification rituals where the wood sin accumulated by a member of the Wood Whalers would be transferred into the mask, where it would be sealed away and kept safe. It was possible for a mask to shatter if it took on too much wood sin, and this actually became an important point in the 1.0 Gridanian storyline, but that's not something that typically happens. Now, you get too much wood sin. You become a target of green wrath. This is where the forest itself becomes an implacable enemy. Wild animals suddenly turning upon you, where before they might have been content to do their own thing, now they see you as a threat and they're attacking. The trees themselves move and attack. You have treants, other things like that, ready to crush you. And again, the 1.0, the opening Gridania cutscene actually has you, along with Ida and Papalymo, running away from an angry treant after an airship crash awakens the green wrath. In extreme cases, a great one, an ancient and powerful elemental, will manifest to directly deal out justice. And once you have lots of wood sin and have become a target of the green wrath, you can become a wildling. Now, this is a person who has been taken by the forest after accumulating too much wood sin. And most of them live out the rest of their lives just wandering the woods in a daze. They are under the thrall of the elementals. It's been compared to tempering. It's not quite the same, but there's a lot of similar aspects to it. Now, again, in the Gridanian MSQ in 1.0, there's actually several members of the Alamegan resistance who used those tails of wildlings to their advantage. They pretended that they had been taken by the elementals as they wandered through the forest, and by doing that, they could move freely in the forest without being stopped by the wood whalers, who assumed that these were wildlings and not safe to approach. All of those Alamegan resistance members did eventually become wildlings, because all of their resistance activities led to a serious accumulation of wood sin. So again, highlighting this whole, no, the forest is not to be messed with, it is not nice, it is not forgiving, if you do not treat it with the respect it demands, it will destroy you. Even people that we might consider innocent are not spared this wrath. The Conjurer quest line of the time dealt with a young boy who fought off some wolves in order to save his own life. And for his efforts, the forest claimed him and turned him into a wildling. Now, on occasion, a wildling would be returned to the city, but they were always greatly changed. No trace of the person that they once were was left behind. Their memories were lost. But their contact with the elementals left them with the ability to hear the voices of the forest, letting them become very powerful conjurers. Stillglade Fane actually kept this fact under wraps because they did not want people to think, hey, this is a way I can gain great power as a conjurer and purposefully seek to become a wildling. And instead, most probably just piss off the forest and be lost. Now, the records of the time are scant, but there is an acknowledgement that, along with the Hirit and the Ellison, Mikote, especially the Keepers of the Moon, were also living in the Shroud during this time. It is known that they have a long tradition of hunting in the Shroud, but they don't seem to have been part of the Gelmoran population that initially populated Gridania. Gridanian archery actually so it started as a melding between Ellison longbow techniques, which were used for defending the forest against outsiders, and Mikote shortbow techniques that are really awesome for hunting game animals. The two did have a long history of conflict with each other, and I could certainly see, hey, you have Mikote, who in some ways are living a little bit more in harmony with the land. They're not building structures, they're living a more like nomadic hunting lifestyle, but at the same time, they kill some animals. The Gridanians, not knowing about this, are culling a few more, and suddenly, hey, you've got some pissed off elementals here because you just killed one boar too many. So it does seem like there was a lot of conflict with that over time. It also gets a little bit into poaching, which we'll get into a little more. Meanwhile, you did have the Ixal, who, after being banished from their sacred forest, they settled in Zelfatal. A lot of you may remember that from the main scenario quest line in 3.0, or 3.4, 3.5 was it at that point? But you may remember those very barren mountain canyons, very few trees, far too few for them to construct all of those their settlements, all of those wood structures. And also, once they had, after their exile, the Ixal born after that lacked the pinion feathers that their previous generations had, and so they could no longer fly. So, with all this suffering, resentful of being banished from the forest, they regularly make incursions into the forest to gather timber. Those huge wooden structures that you see, that is all with lumber that was gathered, stolen from creeping to the forest edges and getting as many trees as they can. This is also the Ixal why they make regular supplications to Garuda. They want her to, using her mighty winds, throw the spoken races out of the forest, throw the elementals out of the forest, and clear things up so that they can move back in there and return to the life that their ancestors once knew. So the God's Quiver of Gridania is specifically tasked with repelling those incursions, because again, the elementals, they don't care that it was the Ixal that were felling the trees and that the Gridanians weren't doing anything bad. They just know that someone's chopping down their trees. They're not happy. And when Black Shroud ain't happy, nobody ain't happy. And just in general, during this time, pretty much every aspect of Gridanian culture is shaped by this relationship with the elementals. So the Botanist Guild focuses on not just how to chop down a tree, which pretty much anyone can do, but on specific techniques for harvesting plants, trimming timber, other things like that, using these sustainable methods that the elementals are okay with. You have the Trappers League, the precursor of the Archers Guild, that directs when and where animals can be hunted, again in the strict accordance with the will of the elementals. You may remember the Leatherworkers Guild, where the philosophy is all about minimizing waste, showing as much respect as possible to the animal that gave its life, and minimizing the number of animals that need to be killed. Again, because resources are limited once by having to follow the will of the elementals. Even things as basic as the Gridanian diet. There's lots of veggies in it. There's plenty of meat in it. There's pretty much no dairy in it. Because you can get meat, you can hunt deer, you can hunt antelope, you can hunt boars. That's perfectly fine. You can get plants, you can gather them, again, with the will of the elementals, what they okay, so you've got plenty of fruits and veggies. But if you want dairy, you need to be able to do animal husbandry. You need to be able to do ranching and raising animals. That means clearing land. That means cutting down trees. That's not something the elementals are going to allow. And so in this context, that Gridanian xenophobia actually makes a lot of sense. Those outsiders who are ignorant in the way of the forest, they accumulate woodstone at a frightening pace. They're going to bring the Greaten Wrath down upon themselves and anyone around them. Just as a matter of survival, Gridania can't risk anyone angering the elementals. And moreover, the elementals, they don't actually go to great lengths to communicate. It's over and over, it's mentioned and made clear that for almost any activity, you want to have a hearer with you, someone who can listen to the voices of the elementals and provide guidance in the moment. The elementals are not going to wait around for you to fetch an interpreter. They are just going to yell. They're going to yell in pain and in anger, and the green wrath is coming down. So you need to be able to react and instantly. Now, all of that is before the calamity. 1.0, all of the city-states were definitely a little bit harsher, more brutal, a little bit more unpleasant. A lot more of the darker shades of gray. After the calamity, Bahamut's wrath wreaks utter havoc on the ethereal balance of the Shroud. And this is completely different from the Great Flood of the Fifth Umbral Calamity. This is really widespread, or actually it would be the Sixth Umbral Calamity, wouldn't it? It's then, yes. Anyways, you've got this widespread destruction. The forest is burning. Large sections of it you can see still haven't grown back and aren't going to grow back anytime soon. And this has severely weakened the elementals. Woodson and Greenwrath are kind of a thing of the past at this point, because the forest no longer has the strength to marshal its forests against defilers. Now, one might expect that Gridania is going to see this as an opportunity to free themselves from the demands of the elementals. But they've been living under the rule of the elementals for most of a millennia. Cultures do not change that quickly overnight. We've also seen this in Ishgard, where, yes, we toppled a religious system that with 1,000 years of prayer and belief behind it. And there's still a lot of racism, there's still a lot of issues between the highborn and lowborn. We don't fix all the problems overnight just because we got rid of the tyrannical ruler. Now, so in Gridania, the elementals provided for and dictated their needs for centuries. And so the people still do look to them for guidance, and they look to live they are looking to live in harmony with the forest. But that role is less of a servant and a bit more of a caretaker. They're trying to nurse the forest back to health. If they ever are able to complete this great work, and the forest does regain its full strength, maybe the relationship between the elementals and the Gridanians will change. Maybe it'll be a little bit more of an equitable one. Or maybe not. The elementals are rarely merciful, and they may not really understand the concept of gratitude. It's hard to say what we'd actually see. Also, as a result of this, we now have gangs of poachers moving freely in the South Shroud. You have that clear-cutting operation in the North Shroud with the Ixal logging camp, where you can see all the trees that have been cut down. These kinds of activities, especially in this scope, they would have been unthinkable before the Calamity. And it really goes to show just how much damage the Calamity did and just how weakened the elementals are. Poaching did exist before the Calamity, but the Wood Whalers were incredibly serious about hunting it down, and they still do, but now they're kind of spread thin. Now you have lots of fates and side quests involving poaching gangs like the Red Bellies and the Curl Claws, because the amount that's going on is too much for the Wood Whalers to handle on their own. Adventurers are needed to help pick up the slack. And for those who haven't ever done it before, northwest of Quarry Mill, there is a settlement called Red Belly Hive that was originally the settlement of Bowberry. There's a fate chain that actually gives you the opportunity to reclaim it from the Red Bellies. And if you've never done it, I honestly suggest completing it at least once. It's really fun, and you can get some unique goodies from the NPCs who move in after you clear it.
There's actually some minions that are only available during that time.
Yep, I believe an Orchestrion role as well at this point, though I'm not sure.
Wow. I didn't know about that.
Yep. Yeah, side note, the Defend the High Bridge one in East Thanalan, if you can complete all the stages of that without all the people being kidnapped, you can get an Orchestrion role and a minion out of that as well.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's difficult, but get some people together, it's kind of fun. And so Silent Arbor, that area surrounding Quarry Mill, that is actually one of those elemental sanctioned hunting grounds. And that's one of the reasons why you have so many people gathered there. Like, this is a spot that the elementals have designated. Yes, you can hunt here. You can take stone from the land here. This we will allow. They're kind of limiting the damage to one space. Relatedly, Quarry Mill is where new arrivals to the Shroud are brought and where they must spend a night. And during that night, the elementals observe and judge them, and they decide if they'll be allowed to take up residence in the forest. Now, this judgment is absolute. There is no higher authority to appeal to. And you may remember seeing that in the main scenario quest line, when you did reach Quarry Mill, where you have those Alamegan refugees, where some of them are told that they cannot stay in the forest. We do see some of them later again in Stormblood, which was a very nice touch. Just from observations that I've seen, it seems like the elementals are more likely to approve people who are quiet, peaceful, better able to fit in with this Gridanian style and mindset. The ones who had fought in the resistance, the ones who had participated in battle, usually were the ones who were turned away. So even in this weakened state, the elementals still hold great sway over the affairs of Gridania. So yeah, their role has definitely changed a lot over time, but in a lot of ways, it's still remained the same. The weakened or not, the elementals are nature personified. They don't hate, they don't have feelings about you, but they want the balance maintained. They want the cycle of nature preserved. Anything that disrupts it, they will not forgive.
There's Sophia?
No, Sophia's more about balance.
That's what he just said. The balance will be maintained.
A different style.
They will strike you down with great vengeance and fury.
Sophia is about like the recognition of good and evil and trying to maintain a balance between them. The elemental's vision of balance, good and evil aren't concepts that even figure into it. The wolf attacks the antelope because that is what the wolf does. That is in its nature. The wolf attacks the child because that is what it does. It is in its nature.
So now you
have no right to interfere.
I have more questions now.
Ooh, anything that you want to ask now? I can see if we can.
Yeah. So the elementals are mainly in the Shroud. Why aren't they over in Limsa and Ulda and stuff?
So that's interesting. There actually is reference to suggest that there are elementals in other areas. In a 1.0 quest line again, one person mentions that the elementals in the metal of Ishgardian plate armor must have spoken to someone. It suggested that elementals do exist elsewhere. So it
So
seems
why do the ones in the shroud have such a stick up their butt?
that's unclear. Like, it might be because of the events of the fifth Haspel era of the War of the Magi, everything that happened, where they're like, "Oh, we saw what happened. We're not letting this happen again."
No, sir. It's because they live in a forest and there's. I'm sorry, couldn't help it, but
Oh my.
Well, I was about to. Yeah, I was about to say it may actually be because the forest has things where they actually can exert control over it, or it might be that just like there's sufficient elemental concentration that you see in this place where you don't see in other places, such that they have the power to exert this.
Moogle Quest is saying there's more of them in the shroud, so they are stronger there because nature. But if you think about it, everything is nature. The desert is nature. The ocean is nature.
Well, yes and no. You may remember when you had the segment where you were talking about ether, that there are areas where there's ethereal balance is weak. We see kind of like patches of wasteland. We see like
Okay,
desert.
yeah, you're right.
So yeah, you have this place that has this huge profusion of life, this deep old growth forest that is like power ancient and primeval. Though, again, in this case, power that's been weakened a lot, which does have the side effect of making the world a little less harsh and unforgiving, which I have to imagine was in part because some of those aspects, especially of the 1.0 cities and how terrible they could actually sometimes be a little off-putting to players. A friend of mine who also played through all that 1.0 stuff and saw the elementals in their full glory is still completely convinced that the Gridanians should launch an extermination campaign. They were not nice. Like, they kidnapped children.
Elementals are dicks.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, you could say, hey, they have an alien mindset, they don't even understand this morality, or you could say, they're kidnapping children and they're crushing anyone who tries to defend themselves. They're kind of terrible. The Gridanians have spent centuries with this, and they're kind of used to how things are. Like, I've actually heard the whole thing where they're nursing them back to the health at this point is kind of a Stockholm Syndrome thing.
I gotta say, it sounds like Stockholm Syndrome more than anything.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an odd position. After having their culture develop under that pressure for that long, it's only been 5 years since the Calamity. It has perpetually been about 5 years since the Calamity.
Not the bees, Moogle! The bees!
Cultures don't change overnight. But yeah, understanding that Gridanian mindset, understanding where that devotion came from, understanding all that, you really have to understand the elementals in order to understand Gridania.
Interesting. Thank you, Seyrr.
Anytime.
I'm going to use it for my RP. Anyways.
Excellent. No, I really loved a lot of the flavor they gave in 1.0 stuff, and that's something that a lot of newer players usually don't get the chance to see, so I love any opportunity to talk about it and bring it in.
And if you guys have an idea of something you want to hear Seyrr talk about, you can always let us know. You can tweet at us at PHXDNRadio. You can email us, podcast@PhoenixDownRadio.com. We'll make sure that Seyrr gets it. Or you can always ask it in the Lorebrary on the Phoenix Down Radio Discord server. All good places to do that.
I want your questions. Ask me about stuff.
I do all the time, Seyrr.
No, you're fine. People listening, ask me about stuff.
Stop making me ask Seyrr stuff all the time.
I mean, you can keep asking stuff too. That's fine.
Okay.
Like, I would rather be flooded with this kind of thing. Like the elementals flooded Eorzea.
So the whole entire thing that kind of started this lore question really was there was a forum on one of the role-playing websites for Final Fantasy that was talking about why the Makotes never got the, what'd you call it? Wild sickness or...
the wildlings or woodsin?
Yeah, they never got woodsinned or anything like that. And
I mean, that's the thing. We don't necessarily know whether they did or not. On the one hand, the way they lived did seem to be less disruptive to the wood. On the other, it's not like they were necessarily keeping good records. And how would they know the difference between, like, oh, hey, like, the wood sin was upon them, and They just never came back from their hunting trip. They must have been attacked by wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to say. This is one of those things where the historical record is lacking, and the best we can do is to try to speculate.
Very interesting. Well, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we're getting to the end of the show now. Let's. Anybody have shout outs they want to throw out, or how they can contact you out on social medias?
So I'll start this one. I actually want to give a special thanks to the Heidelin Role Players Coalition at FFXIV-roleplayers.com for their discussion of Woodson and Greenwrath, which Luna showed to me, and which actually ended up being a really useful resource while I was preparing my lore segment. Their lore discussion forums have a lot of interesting speculation about how the various groups interact with the elementals and with each other. Extra special thanks to Sound C. Merc of Balmung. I'm probably butchering your name, I apologize. But they compiled a number of excellent resources on the topic, including in-game text and video of 1.0 cutscenes. I also want to give a second shout out to Misuzu Takane from Hyperion, who has been doing those in-game portraits of people on the server and posting her work on Reddit. Her Twitter and Instagram is at Misuzu Takane, and I'll be linking to her work as well, including the amazing portraits she did of me on my Twitter at FFXIV Seyrr, Seyrr.
Very nice. Chille.
I want to shout out to Evolved Mail, aka Girlfriend's favorite streamer, twitch.tv/Evolved Mail. I want to shout out to A4 Radio for having me on this week. Thank you again for that. It was nice being on the show. A shout out to Master Radio for having me on that recently also. Shout out to Mooga Quest, Kane, and everyone listening right now. Thank you all for listening, and thank you for the follow, Syrian Fan 1. I might as well shout it out as it just happened as we're doing it.
All right. And how can they find you?
You can find me at, I've forgotten now, Chille UK on Twitter.
Well, you're only there all the time. You're getting
Where
close.
am I?
You're getting close to 1,000 followers out there now, aren't you?
I know, and I've announced that if I do, I'll be giving away money in January.
He's giving money.
If I reach it before January, I'll still give it away in January. But yeah, it'll be given away in January if I can reach 1,000 followers.
So if you don't follow,
$50.
yeah, if you don't follow at Chille UK, you should. Because
you might win $50.
and then you can unfollow right away.
Yeah, you can unfollow.
No,
But do you really want to?
No, because Chille is everything that Final Fantasy XIV podcasters want and need, and which is why he's on every single one of them, I think. Is there one you have not been on yet?
I've been on shit. I've been on State of the Realm. I've been on Musecast.
Oh, you haven't been on Musecast yet?
No, I've been on Musecast yet.
Okay.
So that's the ones I can think of that I've not been on now.
Have you been on Mog Talk?
Oh no, what time I've been on either.
Okay.
See, there's a whole new world I can be on. A whole new
God,
world.
Luna. Before we break out into a Disney number.
Thank you, Steve.
Big shout out to my FC Lust of Hyperion. They run a May Cafe out of the mist.
Which
So
I need to
if
spend more time at.
Yep, Chille has come by and RP'd with us.
Yeah, I gave them 100,000 gills.
Yeah, he did. He was a good customer. But yeah, if you guys are ever bored, know their open times are every weeknight from, I want to say it's, what time is it? It's 10 p.m. Central Standard Time to midnight Central Standard Time. So you do the math. I'm not going to do the math for you. So come on by and come roleplay with us. We would love to have you. Other than that, shout out to all my co-hosts here on Phoenix Sound Radio. Thank you guys for another awesome show.
Good times.
Shout out to everyone that's watching in the Twitch channel right now. Who do we got?
Everybody.
A lot of people. There's a lot of people there.
Yeah, we were
a
up.
lot of people there.
Dang.
Love you guys.
We had like 20 at some point. So
I did. I saw that.
maybe 21, but there was a lot. So we thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, but
Say thank you.
But yeah, if you want to go ahead and find me on the social media, you can go on Tumblr and go over to lunavoxffxiv.tumblr.com. If you want to follow me over on the Twitter, it's just Luna_Vox. Other than that, Klauss, take it away.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank everybody who is watching us live here at twitch.tv/PhoenixDown Radio. I want to thank and throw a shout out to everybody who's followed us again today. We've had a number of new followers here on Twitch, so thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed your time here. And if you have not yet followed us, do please hit that follow button. You'll be notified. What?
Klauss,
What's that?
we're at 400 followers right now.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. Even.
Exactly 400. Well, thank you very much, guys. 400 followers is a nice milestone. So let's keep getting, let's keep it going. Yeah, we've been getting, 15, 20 new follows every show, it seems like. So it's very good to see. I saw that the Moogles pop up quite frequently tonight. I like to see that. But if you follow us, you'll get notified when we go live for the podcast every other week, as well as anytime we go live for just random streaming. I will do a number of different things during the week. A lot of times, Luna will occasionally do some streaming as well. So stop by and hang out with us during some of those off streams and just have a good time with us. I want to thank everybody who's listening out on the podcast. We appreciate you guys listening to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, all those different places. I would really appreciate it. And a shout out to my co-hosts. I really could not do this without you guys. You do an amazing job every episode. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me on the show again, as always.
All right.
I love being here.
We love having you, Chille. So if you want to check out our website, it's at www.phoenixdownradio.com. You can always send us an email, podcast@phoenixdownradio.com. Our Twitter account is at PHXDNradio. We couldn't put Phoenix Down Radio in there because it's way too freaking long. Damn you, Twitter. And like I said, if you want to check us out live here, we're at twitch.tv/PhoenixDownRadio, or you can join us out on our Facebook group, facebook.com/PhoenixDownRadio. And we post all of the videos of the podcast out on our YouTube page as well, youtube.com/PhoenixDownRadio. So a lot of Phoenix Down Radios out there. So that'll do it for this episode. If you guys liked what you heard, please make sure to like, subscribe, or follow us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, YouTube, Podbean, TuneIn, or whatever your preferred podcatcher is. And make sure to leave us a rating or review as well. It really helps other people find our show and helps us to grow in the community. If you're really digging the show, please consider becoming a subscriber here on Twitch, or by becoming a patron on Patreon, which is out at patreon.com/PhoenixDownRadio. All proceeds go towards the show, covering things like hosting costs, and allow us to do fun supporter-only giveaways and things like that. So, and we still do have those contests going. When we hit 10 subscribers here on Twitch, we're going to be doing a giveaway of a $20 PlayStation card, and we will also be doing a giveaway of a $25 worth of Mog Station credit once we hit one more patron out on Patreon. So if you're interested and you really like the show, we would really appreciate all the support. So thank you very much in advance. Any kind of support, whether it's emails, likes, tweets, and retweets, follows, subs, or donations is always greatly appreciated, and we love interacting with you guys and the rest of the community. So, for my co-hosts, Lunavox, for Seyrr Timono, for Chille, I am Klauss Nightbringer, wishing everybody a wonderful evening. Thanks again for stopping by. Take care.
Praise Lava Scorpion.
Come on, music.
Phoenix Down Radio is a production of PhoenixDownRadio.com and Illusion Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. In-game content for Phoenix Down Radio is the copyright of Square Enix. Opening music for Phoenix Down Radio is provided by Guilty Gear Rock You. Check out the Metal Chocobo theme cover and many other music videos at youtube.com/Guilty Gear Rock You. Closing music for this episode is provided by Guitar Wanker 90. Please check out their full version of Matoya's Cave and other rock video game covers at youtube.com/Guitar Wanker 90. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of Phoenix Down Radio and its hosts and do not reflect the views of Square Enix.